Good evening, everyone. This is Crane, the host of the Amun Inside Crypto podcast. Welcome back to our first rebalanced SOLI podcast. That is exciting, right? So we have lots of stories, as you can see, because we're full of constituents, and we'll talk about those in a few moments. Let's go over the TLDR for those people who are busy and have no time to listen to me blabber on for the next 20 minutes or so. So some of today's top stories are instant liquid unstaking with Marinade's staked Solana. So MSOL and Marinade, instant liquid unstaking is pretty new, pretty awesome. If you're first getting into crypto, right, if you ever staked something and it'd be locked for a certain period of time, just like Ethereum almost. So this is really cool. And we talked about this with the head of Anchor, the head of DeFi of Anchor. And he mentioned about how instant liquid unstaking, right, no lockup periods is going to be the future. And I think that's going to allow for a lot more utility in DeFi. The next story, which is I guess sort of half surprising, half unsurprising, is Raydium is one of the top projects in Solana by token holders. That's interesting as well, like, because generally speaking, DEXs usually are pretty popular, but when you're comparing the whole Solana ecosystem, that actually says a lot. Another piece of news is like 40% of Aldrin, which is Aldrin Labs token, the 10th constituent of our Solana ecosystem index, 40% of their RIN is locked. So why that is something to think about is that usually when a particular token of a particular ecosystem is locked, right? And people always talked about Ethereum and TVL and how much Ethereum is locked in the Ethereum 2.0 contract or Ethereum merge contract. That's always a suggestion of confidence, right? So 40% of the supply of RIN is locked. That says that 40% of people are confident in Aldrin. That's great for them. Next thing is Mango got audited with hacks and everything happening left, right, and center in DeFi. Audits are always good. It's always good to have a look at them. They tend to not be overly complicated, but I definitely suggest for you guys to have a look at them. The last thing we talk about is UXP, right? UXP is the governance token of UXD Protocol. UXD is partnered with something called Credora, and they're offering sustainable yields, and we'll dive into that a bit later. Okay, let's have a look at our SOLI index. So SOLI currently sitting at $2.03. It is up 13.77% in the last 1 week. Wonderful. Okay. And there's the comparisons, right? You guys can have a look at those comparisons by yourselves. Let's have a look at quick at MSOL's performance. So SOLI is actually performing better than MSOL. And MSOL is the liquid staked version of Solana for those who don't know. That's good. So it actually shows you SOLI is better to hold than Marinade. That is the advantage of an index token, right? Current market cap is $253,540. The constituents of SOLI are Serum, Marinade staked Solana, Raydium, Orca, Solend, UXP governance token, Tulip, Marinade, Mango, Aldrin. Okay, so these are the 10 constituents, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great. So one of the things I'd like to remind you guys is, right, if you're interested in anything that we're doing, if you want to support the podcast, please come check this website out. Check out the token, ask me questions, come to Twitter, twitter.com/Amun. You can message me there. You can come to Telegram or Discord, right? You can see all of that in the bottom left-hand corner over here. Ask questions. I'd be glad to help. Okay, so as usual, if you didn't watch the last Pico episode or last DeFi episode we did, we're trying to move through these fairly quick, which is why I'm talking, I guess, a little bit faster. So next thing we're going to talk about is Solana's TVL. Current TVL of Solana per Defilama is $1.41 billion. It is up 2.63% in the last 24 hours. Marinade's dominance is 20.68%. Marinade up 21.05% in the last 7 days. Solend up 7.64%. Raydium number 3, Atrix number 4, Lido number 5. This is the Solana version of Lido. Tulip number 6, Mango number 7, Serum number 8, Quarry number 9, and Orca number 10.
Today, Bitcoin soars to close out its best week since August. Crypto scammers try to capitalize on the death of Queen Elizabeth II. And we get a reality check on what the merge really means for Ethereum. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Pippa Stevens. Crypto markets closing out the week with a rally. By noon Eastern, Bitcoin rocketed back above $21,000, Ether reclaimed $1,700, and Solana rose to $35. Bitcoin and ETH are on pace for their best week since August 12th, and with today's gains, total market cap for crypto crossed back above $1 trillion. Now, this latest rally coincides with big gains on Wall Street as well. Investors are shrugging off comments from Fed Chair Jay Powell that more rate hikes are ahead. Crypto's also seeing gains thanks to a weakening US dollar. The dollar index, which measures how the USD stacks up against a basket of other currencies, fell by about 1% this morning. Meanwhile, the euro's value ticked higher after the European Central Bank raised interest rates. A weaker dollar traditionally drives gains in Bitcoin, so if the US dollar continues to fall in value, more of these rallies could be in Bitcoin's future. All right, time for the top stories. First up, Celsius and its creditors just reached an agreement for a government probe. In a pair of court filings, the two sides agreed to let an independent examiner look at Celsius's crypto holdings and storage requirements, along with its tax compliance. The agreement comes after the U.S. Trustee's Office filed a motion to hire an examiner to look into the bankrupt business. Next, a Florida man pled guilty to a $100 million crypto Ponzi scheme. Joshua David Nicholas was head trader for crypto platform Empires X. Nicholas claimed that the platform maximized profit using AI, but really paid earlier investors with money that came from new investors. Empires X also claimed to be properly registered with the SEC, but it wasn't. Nicholas pled guilty to one count of conspiracy to commit securities fraud, which carries up to 5 years in prison. Finally, as the world reacts to the death of Queen Elizabeth II, scammers are trying to cash in. Dex Screener, which tracks crypto prices across decentralized exchanges, shows dozens of listings for tokens capitalizing on the death of the Queen, all with names like Queen Elizabeth Inu, RIP Queen, and London Bridge is down. That's a reference to the official plan set in place by the British government in the wake of her death. Many of these tokens have surged in price in the past 24 hours, but most of the
Okay, let's move on to our first piece of news. This is about Serum, which is our first piece of news. So this is an article from Bitcoin Market Journal. It just talks about Serum. And although this would be interesting to have a look at. So Serum's current market cap, $283.9 million as of the time of writing the story. 24-hour trading volume, $28.2 million. TVL locked, $225.7 million. Daily active users, 10,207 users. That's actually pretty good. This describes what Serum is. Serum is a decentralized DEX built on Solana. Using Solana, Serum can take advantage of cost effectiveness and speed of transactions settled on its blockchain. Serum comes with a decentralized order book run by smart contracts that aim to mimic traditional exchanges by matching sellers and buyers. That's cool. All right, so we've talked about Serum before, which is why I'm not going to read too much into this. The sort of key information I wanted to highlight, there's daily active users, 10,200 users. We're going to see what are the Raydium token holders just now, so that means might be something for you guys to compare to. Okay, let's jump into Marinade. So Marinade has a lot going on. So it says introducing liquid unstake. No matter which Solana validator you stake to, unstake and get your SOL instantly with Marinade. So for those of you new to Marinade and Solana, when you go to the Marinade website, you can stake your Solana. Right after you stake your Solana, you get Marinade staked Solana back, and with MSOL you can put that into various places and to earn interest on your Solana. That's the whole point of liquid staking. And one of the things with liquid staking before, right, like we interviewed the previous head of partnerships at Marinade, and at that point there was a 7-day wait for unstaking, but now you can unstake instantly. So you can get your MSOL, you can do some DeFi stuff, and when you want to get your Solana back, you just go back to the Marinade site, you unstake it, and then you got your money, which is fantastic. Okay, the other Marinade story I want to talk about, right, is about MND, right? Because in the SOLI index token at the moment, we have MSOL, of course, and we have MNDE, which is Marinade's governance token. So it says, check out the latest validated gauges leaderboard led by Solana Beach.io. Solana Beach, I believe, is the Solana validator. Currently, 27.2 million MND controls 742,715 SOL stake. Chef's vote for your favorite validators here. So one of the things that MND allows you to do is to vote on who gets the Marinade stake Solana. So everyone, like 10% of the weight goes to Solana Beach. And it's actually not like too different. Lifinity 8.3%, Block NXT 8.1%. So these are the 8s, and then the 6%. Why not Zoidberg from Futurama, Monkey DAO 6.4%, and DICS 5.7%. So it's nice, right? Marinade is really decentralizing Solana through their system, right? And there's no specific bias, as you can see by the validators, and there's like a significant amount of SOL difference between like number 1 and number 2 and number 3, but 4, 5, 6, it's all good. That's another reason, right? So Marinade or Solana is decentralized, but at the same time, this doesn't mention all the other validators and how much Solana they're actually getting. So interesting. Let's move on to our next story, which is by Solana Daily. So it says top Solana tokens by holders, and it has all these tokens here. So let's look at the picture in a large kin. Wow, 7 million holders hold kin. I don't even know what kin is. So this is pretty interesting because we see the kin ecosystem is the largest, 7,084,102 holders. Gary is next. Gary Panda NFT, 1,264,127. Then we go to GST and GMT, both Stepan's tokens. Selenium is in there, but the highlight of this is rate, like no other Solana token is in there. I should say Solana DEX is in there except for Raydium. 136,004 holders. So that shows a lot of people are holding Raydium. Okay, let's go to our next story, which is probably going to be one of our longer stories, which is Solend's August 2022 recap. So this is $411 million in deposits, $249 million TVL. They earned $110,000 in fees. That's good. 46K monthly active users. That is a lot of people. Solend is back to being the #1 project on Solana by TVL. Wow, okay, very cool. Solend's TVL decreased alongside a fall in major cryptocurrencies. Of course, that's pretty obvious. Solend's SOL-dominated TVL increased from 7.3 million SOL to 7.8 million SOL. Protocol revenue, that's actually pretty good, right? Had a sort of a down month, and then as cryptos picked up, they've made more money. That's good. Permissionless pools. Solend's new permissionless pools feature saw the creation of 11 new pools with almost 200K in TVL. This feature allows anyone to create their own permissionless pool and earn 20% of fees generated. You get to create your own pools in Solend, and you get 20% of fees. Permissionless pools creation workshop, fireside chat with Liquidity, launch the pool. Okay, they've done a lot. Podcast interview with Phantom. We have to get those guys on from Solend. Waived borrow fees for 24 hours and launch fees. Nice. So permissionless pools. That's one of the things we're thinking about. Our SOLI token is to start our own pool, right? That'd be pretty cool. AMA with Siga. Listed USH and stable pool. Defilama introduced liquidation dashboards for Solend. Nice. So this is like, I was expecting this to be much longer because a lot of these sort of recaps tend to be fairly long articles, but this was actually pretty fast. Lots of stuff going on with Solend. The links to all of this will be in the podcast and in the YouTube show notes. So if you want to read this yourself, you want to check out some of these podcasts, that there are a lot of links here that can explain more about what happened to Solend, right? And it's good. Solend's doing well, which is why they're pretty highly ranked. You can see they're number 5 in our SOLI index token. Let's move on to talk about Orca. So announcing wave 1 of the Whirlpools Builders Program. A wave of builders, 11 teams, 225,000 in grants, and a boatload of exciting new protocols. So one of the coolest things with this, and we've gone through some of this before, so I'm not going to mention all of this again, is that we have some of our SOLI index token constituents are there. So Tulip Tulip is building a concentrated liquidity vault that reduces divergence loss and auto compound rewards, right? So auto compound rewards is good. So those of you who are not familiar with that, is traditionally, like, I'm using Elk Finance to stake some Matic and some stablecoin. I can't remember what it is, but that is not an auto compounding vault. So when I'm earning rewards, I have to claim those rewards, then restake those rewards or stake those rewards again, which means I usually have to pay some sort of fees. Some places, not just on Solana, on Polygon, have this function. The place I'm staking does not. That's fantastic, right? So it says Hubble is building Camino, a vault that gives LPs, liquidity providers, exposure to the benefits of concentrated liquidity without continuous rebalancing. It offers a novel method to use Whirlpool LP positions as collateral. That's pretty cool. That's something I should definitely check out. Investing is building vaults on Whirlpools and Mango V3 with active liquidity provisions executed by vault managers. LPs will be able to monitor activity through a UI that shows vault positions with performance charts and expected APRs. Investin.pro, I like that website name. Boson is building a single token vault to auto compound and aggregate Whirlpool yields. Nice. Viper is building a delta neutral vault on Whirlpools that incorporate efficient leverage farming. Okay. Goblin Gold is building a vault protocol that will aggregate yields across stable assets. The team aims to increase the composability of Whirlpool's NFT positions by providing users with fungible LP tokens, right? Website goblin.gold. All right, so you guys can check some of these out. There are a fair number of them. We're not going to read through all of them, but I think you get the idea. Whirlpool spreading the joy in the ecosystem and helping people build, which is nice. Orca is great. Okay, let's check out Credora. So this is about UXP and UXD. So it says UXD Protocol is the first DAO to utilize the transparent Credora Maple pool to earn sustainable yields on their reserve assets. UXD's insurance deployed 7 million of their 55 million reserve with a diversified set of creditworthy borrowers who are risk monitored in real time. Akin to Inami, right? We're going to talk about this guy on our SOLI spaces this week. CEO founder of UXD said UXD Protocol is excited to gain exposure to attractive risk-adjusted returns by lending to well-known institutional crypto funds through Credora. We expect to collaborate more closely with them in the future to increase our exposure. The borrowers went through Credora's privacy-preserving credit evaluation, which encompasses real-time risk monitoring, KYC, and financial statement analysis across their CeFi and DeFi holdings to generate a real-time credit score and approximation of a borrower's capacity. Wow, that is really sophisticated. Not just one factor, but a few factors to create a credit score. That's interesting. Let's look at this picture, right? And these are the loans, right? 4 million USDC, 10 million USDC. Wow. Company, Folk, Vang, Aurus, Amber, Wintermute, Ledger Prime. Ledger Prime is the only one I'm familiar with. Okay. Reach out if you are a DAO or treasury looking for unrivaled risk-adjusted return on their assets with unparalleled transparency of risk with Credora's Maple Pool on Solana. Wow, I'm very impressed with this. I'm going to have to look at this later. Okay, let's check out Tulip. So we're almost done and we're moving pretty fast. I'm pretty impressed with the time. So it says, come hang out with the Tulip team at the Solana Hacker House in Vancouver from September 12th to the 16th. So that is from today, right? So if you're watching this tomorrow, you still have time to head to Canada and hang out with Tulip. Mark your calendars. We are excited to be hosting Hedge Labs and Sec3 Dev for a panel on DeFi and security on September 15th. We can't wait to meet all our current and future partners, as well as the other amazing builders in the Solana ecosystem. We may even have a few surprises in store for attendees, so be sure to swing by and say hi to the Tulip team. Don't forget to check out the Tulip Farmers Fund if you're looking to build on Solana. We've got 500,000 dedicated to supporting builders in the community. Okay, so we've talked about the Tulip Farmers Fund. Please check out a previous SOLI episode if you want to understand what that is about. Okay, we waited a bit to announce this, but here, Mega Markets, we are finally pleased to publicly post our audit from Neodime. Big rounds of hands for all the contributors. So this is very cool. You can check out the audit over here. I think we can look at this very briefly. And I think you guys should be able to see it here. So here's the Mango audit by Neodime AG. So these are the issues, right? Orders, book size were not sufficiently verified, critical resolve. You can see almost all the issues have been resolved except the informational issue on the bottom. Perp value calculation can overflow, high resolved. Missing vault check and resolve token bankruptcy, medium resolved. Deposit does not trigger interest update, low resolved. Nice. So please, if you're interested in these audits, please check them out. Okay. And the last thing we're going to talk about today is Aldrin. So this is fellow renegades, Aldrinauts, explorers, pioneers, and everyone. The week in review is here. So week 54, this is published on September 2nd, which is last week, almost 10 days ago. 54 weeks ago, Aldrin was launched, and you are still so early. We are in a deep building phase, and the coming weeks will be hot. $9.3 million were traded on our AMM this week. And we talked about this interesting number right here. 39.6% of circulating Aldrin is staked, which is wonderful. That shows confidence in the Aldrin ecosystem. Auto Compound will automatically maximize your earnings by increasing the amount of RIN you have in staking, and every month your RIN staking rewards will be more and more. Also, because we increase buyback percentage. Get ready for Staking 2.0 coming soon to Aldrin. And the other things I wanted to show is this picture over here. So it says, with Aldrin, you get access to Swap 2.0, lightning fast, top UI, UX, price chart, wallet breakdown, Pools 2.0, auto farming, RIN auto compound. We talked about auto compounding, right? Making sure and that you don't have to unstake and restake again. 3 asset stable pools, performance shots. Staking 2.0, right? Auto compounding, increasing buyback percentage rewards, counter RIN loyalties, swap discounts, referral commission, tweet to earn. That is interesting. I like that. Lending and borrowing, right? We've had a guest check out our last week Friday's interview with the co-founder of Paxos Finance. He talked about lending and borrowing and how big lending and borrowing is going to be in the future. Permissionless staking, tokens to tokens, tokens to NFT to tokens. NFTs to tokens to NFTs. That's interesting. Concentrated liquidity order range, custom few tiers, performance charts. Okay. So that is pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This week, Friday, there is a Solana 2-day spaces. It is going to be 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 12 a.m. if you're in Hong Kong, Taiwan. GMT +8, I believe, is the time zone. So it's a bit late. I will be there. I won't be talking. I talk enough on this podcast anyway, not to mention the other podcasts I end up being on. Please spread the word. Come and join us. It'll be on Twitter. We'll be scheduling the space tomorrow. And we'll be talking to the head of Tulip, the head of UXD Protocol. We'll be talking to Mango. We'll be talking to Aldrin. I'll be talking to someone called Jet Protocol as well. They're not in here, but we're hoping they'll be in here at some point. So guys, thank you very much. Check out the Twitter spaces. Please follow Omen everywhere and share this on social media. And I will talk to you guys later.